Hi, in this video we'll go on working on our project plan, and as far as it looks, it is fine. We have identified all the tasks that are related to our project. We've grouped them. What is lacking though is the dependencies among the tasks. So basically, as I mentioned in previous video, we have all tasks starting at the same time and being in parallel. In reality, it's not always the case, and there are certain relationships between and among tasks. So for instance, one task can be done after another one is finished, or they can be done in parallel as well. To have a better overview of the project and to have a better estimates of the duration of the overall project, the predecessors are to be mentioned. So here is a dedicated column for predecessors. So according to our, let's say, project plan and the activities that we have, let's say the task number one is just a starting point, and it has no tasks prior to it, so obviously there are no predecessors, and let's say the task number two can only start once task number one is finished. So basically, to make it happen, we can do two ways. The first way is to double click on the task, and when we double click on the task, we get the task information, and there are lots of information that you can enter here, but in this video we'll consider predecessors. So as you can see, the task name is task 2, and duration is 4 days, and here we have the predecessors. What is the predecessor of the task 2? So let's say task 1. Here we have the whole list of the tasks. So let's say task 1 is going to be the predecessor for the task 2. So basic relationship here is finish to start, but there can also be different other relations. Okay, so, and what is more important to mention here is that you can identify the predecessors according to IDs. So let's press OK, and then I'll show you what the ID is. So now we can see that task number 2, here we have number 2. This is ID of the task number 1. So if we look at here, you can see here task number 1, its ID is number 2. So now if we take a look at our Gantt chart, now we can see that there is a relationship here, that finish to start, task 1 and task 2. So it automatically changes the old formation that we had. So now task 2 is starting later. Okay, so let's move on and put other predecessors in our list. And before we do that, I want to come back to this point where we had task 7 and we said that task 8 belongs to task 7. So basically, when we have it in this way, it's a bit illogical because only one task belongs to the upper level. So that's why it's better to have at least 2 tasks that are related to a specific task. So for that sake, let's say task number 9, or let's better enter a new task, say task 801, to be also on the same page. Now, as you can see here, we have 1 day with a question mark because we haven't identified the days for this task. Let's say this task is going to take 2 days. So it should automatically make this 2 days because this is the longest one. Yeah, exactly. Good. Now I will set the predecessors for the whole tasks here and come back after that. So I've entered all the relationships among the tasks, and now we can see in the Gantt chart that there is a bit different view. You can see lots of predecessors and relations here. Yeah, so it looks more or less complex now. And if you remember, we had talked in the first video that our project is not going to start like on 11th, but on 25th. So as we've already made all the relations here, so if we change now the start date for instance task number 1, and say it will start from December 25th, then all of these tasks will change accordingly. And here we have a certain deadline kind of identified, but this is due to the fact that we have here manual scheduling. So if we change it to auto scheduling, it should change. Exactly. So now it changed to 17th of January. However, there is one big thing missing in our project plan, and this is the milestone or milestones. So milestones are basically a point of celebration of achievement of certain achievement in the project. So we could possibly have number of milestones, and basically you have milestones in most of the times for celebrating achievement of a deliverable. So I suggest us to have several milestones. So we can also think from perspective of the task for milestone. So we can represent milestone as a task. To do that, so for instance for group 1 deliverable, obviously it should be somewhere here. So we press on the group 2 deliverable and right click on it and say insert task. So now we have insert task. And the difference between the task and milestone is that milestone is just a checkpoint, and the checkpoint does not require any duration, so its duration is going to be 0. So let's call the milestone deliverable 1 accomplished, for instance, and set 0 days for that. So as you can see here, we have 10th of December exactly, because this is today's date, but we'll get our milestones once we achieve a certain tasks. Yeah, so in this case the logical would be the task number 5. So ID number of task number 5 is 6. So we write here 6, and now here you can see that we have our milestones achieved. However, this does not represent the end of these tasks. So milestone logically should be the one after the one which is the latest, which ends the latest. So in here we have task number 4, which ends on 17th of January. You can see it here. So basically milestone can be achieved after achievement of that task. So now let's move on and put milestones for all other deliverables. So I've set milestones for all of our deliverables, and if we take a look now in the Gantt chart, so here we have for the first one, and also we can see here for the second one, and if we scroll down for third, yeah, and for the last one, which is here. Now, okay, so